Hi everyone, welcome to today's video on Digital Marketing Strategy Full Course by Simplilearn. If you have ever wondered how brands create powerful marketing campaigns that grab attention and drive results, you are in the right place. In this video, we will take you through the essentials of building an effective digital marketing strategy. We'll start with the fundamentals, helping you understand what makes a strategy successful. Then we'll also dive into creating strong narratives that connect with your audience, identify customer needs through market research, and also structure a marketing calendar to keep everything on track. Plus, we have covered to measure and manage our marketing efforts to ensure continuous improvement. And on the top of it, we've got the free digital marketing strategy ebook for you to explore further. So whether you're just new to digital marketing or looking to sharpen your skills, this video will give you a solid foundation to plan and execute winning marketing campaigns. So let's get started. If you're interested to start a career in digital marketing, check out Simplilearn's postgraduate program in digital marketing in partnership with Purdue University. This course provides a robust and industry-relevant curriculum to help you become a certified digital marketing expert. The program covers essential digital marketing components like website creation, SEO, SEM, social media marketing, mobile marketing, content strategy, and many more. You'll gain hands-on experience through live interactive learning, student digital marketing simulation, case studies, and capstone projects. So hurry up and enroll now and find the course link in the description box below and in the pinned comments.
Hello, and welcome to this course on digital marketing strategy. My name is Matt Bailey. I am the Simplilearn digital marketing faculty. I have over 20 years in digital marketing in my own business with brands and with agencies. I had an agency for 10 years. Now I am an OMCP advisor, standards contributor, and certified trainer. I have written 3 books, Internet Marketing an Hour a Day, Wired to be Wowed, Teach New Dogs Old Tricks. My current training clients are Microsoft, Orange, Procter & Gamble, Hilton International, HP, Lenovo, and Google. You are at the right place to start your career as a digital marketer by studying in this course on digital marketing strategy. You can now learn digital marketing strategy from the comfort of your browser with an expert guiding you all the way. You will have an expert mentor, teaching assistants, 24/7 support to help you all the way. So let's start. What is digital marketing strategy? In the simplest terms, digital marketing strategy is the use of available media, channels, and actions to achieve your company's business objectives. Digital marketing strategy helps you to align your marketing to business objectives. Create a singular company voice that drives your communications. Focuses your efforts on measurable outcomes, develop coordinated company communications, and finally, create processes and frameworks that direct your efforts in meeting established goals. Digital marketing strategy is useful in many areas, such as B2B lead generation, B2C e-commerce, software as sales, sales and marketing, product development, customer service and customer relations, and customer retention. This digital marketing strategy course will introduce you to strategy formulation, creating a company narrative or voice, the basics of market and customer research, defining customer needs, customer journey mapping, planning coordinated multi-channel communications, developing a content marketing calendar, and campaign measurement and analytics. So, how does this course make you industry ready? Digital marketing strategy teaches you to develop a structured, analytical approach to your marketing by developing processes and a framework to manage marketing across numerous channels. It prevents distractions of new media. Developing and executing a digital marketing strategy creates confidence, as you know what you are doing in your marketing, why you are doing it, when it will happen, and how to measure your efforts. So what will you learn through this course? You'll be able to identify organizational obstacles to strategy and basic customer needs, create a customer persona, and create a customer journey map, research customer needs and intent, identify consumer trends, create a content marketing calendar, evaluate your marketing channels, and establish clear campaign metrics. After this introduction, we will start the course with what is a digital marketing strategy, then how to define business objectives and your voice, evaluate customer needs, start market research, create your marketing calendar, and finally, measurement and management. In addition to the lessons, you will get to study use cases that illustrate how other companies transformed their marketing through these digital strategy methods. At the end of this course, you will have questions to help you demonstrate and measure your understanding of the concepts learned from this course. You will also be provided with downloadable PDF files of the lessons to refer to as required. Learning digital marketing strategy is a very good decision, as this course will set foundations toward a fruitful career. Digital marketing strategy overview. What is a digital marketing strategy? This can mean different things to different people, but essentially, it is how well you connect your marketing efforts to your business objectives. Objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify factors that indicate a lack of strategy, identify organizational obstacles, define strategy, define advantages for standard processes and frameworks, explain the disadvantages for no standard procedures or processes, explain how a formal communication structure enhances company communications. What is a digital marketing strategy? Things have changed. Well, they're changing, and they're going to continue to change. How can you prepare your company to react to the market, technology, and consumer changes that define this digital age? Traditional marketing approaches won't provide the speed, flexibility, or the insights needed to compete in the marketplace. A digital transformation is happening, and those that have adapted their marketing to a digitally based strategy are gaining business. Through embracing data-centric strategies, examining the insights of existing customers, and developing automated interactions, companies can improve the customer experience with personalized, relevant communications that reach the right person at the right time. Obstacles to strategy. In a recent survey, marketers were asked to identify their primary marketing obstacle. The number one response was a lack of strategy. Surprisingly, budget came in number 2, but I think this points to the honesty and severity of the situation. Without a strategy, I don't know the best place to spend my budget, nor what parts of my budget are effective. I could just try new things until I find what works, but I won't. You see, the remaining obstacles listed are all symptoms of a lack of strategy. Lack of budget, lack of training, inability to prove return on investment, and other useless metrics. If you suffer from any one of those symptoms, the problem is a lack of strategy. Strategy defines what training is needed, what expertise you should have, and who to hire. Strategy defines the metrics, as they directly reflect the objectives of the business, which enables a clear ROI measurement of digital tactics. These obstacles can extend well beyond the marketing department. Experian Marketing Services published a survey that identified the top 3 organizational barriers. First, no single customer view. Data is spread across the organization and not unified. Second, technology barriers in the company prevent interlinking or unification of data. And third, the organization is too siloed. The structure prevents sharing, collaboration, and data gathering. Without a strategy, I find that companies rely on what I call shiny object syndrome. It's chasing the latest technologies and headline-grabbing social media channels. When people get distracted by the overpromised and overhyped new thing, they typically copy what someone else is doing, and they jump into the platform or the technology, and then it doesn't deliver success, whatever success was supposed to be. A true strategy is a guiding principle, a measuring stick. It's a focus on the long term, but one that adapts to changes and forces. But what it provides is clear understanding of what an organization is doing, when to do it, why they are doing it, and how to measure clear results. Integrated processes. A digital strategy is not just for the marketing department. A digital strategy encompasses an entire organization from top to bottom. Many projects, such as marketing campaigns, app development, content creation, and customer insights, they need to have the buy-in and the input from other areas of the business, from customer service, IT, sales, and other relevant areas. Next, a standard operating process needs to be established for internal and external processes. Process is one of the most important parts of a digital strategy, as the process enacts the strategy. Here's what happens if there's no process. In a recent survey of companies that say they have a strategy, only 30% say that they follow a well-established process for developing marketing campaigns and sales content. 35% responded that they have a process, but they do not follow it consistently. 12% responded that they have a process identified, but it's not followed. Another 12% have no process at all, and the remaining 11% didn't even know if they had a process. This means that less than 1/3 of the companies surveyed have taken the time to create a process that manages the creation of marketing campaigns and the accompanying sales content to take leads from conversion to nurture to sale, onboarding, and beyond. Outside of that group, content is mostly developed and implemented without formal structures of research, planning, review, and measurement. It is no reason that another recent report found that 50% of content does not drive any engagement, and yet 80% of B2B buyers expect ongoing content in the form of onboarding, education, and thought leadership, and yet it's lacking. The reason is people aren't publishing what customers want to read. The first step in creating a digital strategy: look within your organization. What processes need to be formalized and structured in order to coordinate a clear message from your brand to the marketplace? Case study: Dive Right. Dive Right is one of those companies that had great knowledge and experience, yet was being left behind by more agile competitors that were more web savvy. Making a few early mistakes cost them valuable market share, and competitors were using their content to market cheaper, off-brand products. Dive Right had to reassess their goals, content, and resources, but they also needed a complete buy-in from the leadership to completely change their digital marketing strategy. They focused on creating quality, long-term content that told a story about their products and the people that created them. In doing so, they first focused on their website as the central hub of content and used SEO and paid search as their primary marketing channels. As the new strategy was implemented, they developed more on-site resources and crowdsourced additional content from customers. From a resources standpoint, evaluate where the content was developed and the integration of content experts from within and outside the company, and how they integrated customers into the process. Finally, observe that they did not push their marketing to all available channels. Instead, they limited their initial push to a few specific channels search engine optimization, paid search, and on-site content. As these channels became integrated and provided results, then they started planning for integrating other channels in a staggered approach, but only after assessing the resources needed, the time commitment, and how they would approach each tactic. Key takeaways. Strategy sets the expectations and measurement for marketing. Without strategy, expectations are undefined. Most obstacles to strategy are internal. Strategy sets the how-to of business. Create a narrative. Let's start with the basics. Why are you in business? What drives your company? Granted, making money is the life force of commercial enterprises. It sustains nonprofits and is a necessary and reasonable goal. But how will that be accomplished? Objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify factors of an internally focused, data-centric company. Identify factors of an externally focused, media-centric company. Explain the importance of a company's culture and its effects on strategy, employee innovation, and testing. Explain the purpose of a narrative or mantra. Show how companies that sell the same product can do so with a different voice or personality. Define objectives. Can you distill down your basic business objectives? Then, do you know how you will accomplish those objectives? At this point, I can usually tell if a company is internally focused or externally focused. An internally focused company looks to research, data, analysis in order to make the decisions according to their objectives. An internally focused company knows this is what we do and why. They measure, adjust, and measure again. They test new channels, but do so by aligning the channel to their message and purposes. Because they have a built-in data-centric framework of testing and aligning to their objectives, it provides the freedom to innovate, and that innovation drives growth. It also gives them the freedom to say no. An externally focused company looks to outside forces or influences to make decisions. They're waiting for the next social platform or new technology and hoping to ride the wave. Unfortunately, they jump on the channel and they try what others have done. They adapt their message and purpose to the technology, which takes away from their core message when they copy what others do. Usually they say, "We tried that," because they did try but didn't find success. Mainly because success was never defined with clear expectations or measurable outcomes, and the attempt was most likely laden with incomplete execution. The expectations for any initiative are immediate, and there's no room for testing, and failure is typically punished even though it's a common experience. Which company would you rather work with? As you can see, a data-centric company that encourages testing embraces fast failure, as they are able to quickly learn, adjust, and react. It's in the culture of the company. And perhaps no other factor will drive a successful creation and operation of a digital strategy than the culture of a company. Internal narrative. Overview. Companies that can communicate their value to the marketplace in clear terms are able to show the benefits to the customer. Those are the ones that can create strategy because they know who they are, and who they are is reflected in the marketplace. But look at companies that compete for the same business. Here in the US, there are big insurance companies that compete for the same customers. They sell the same things, but they go about it differently based on the company's personality. One insurance company, State Farm, positions itself as a friend, a good neighbor. Progressive provides quotes from other insurers and positions itself as a voice of reason in a noisy marketplace. Allstate sells fear, as they always ask, "What if?" or "Do you know if you are covered?" in order to create uncertainty. Each company provides the same services, yet they have distinctly different messaging and approaches to the marketplace. All of their advertising, content, and communications align to that personality, the narrative of their company. Internal narrative. For example, Aristotle is credited with the phrase, know thyself, or better, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. I can't think of a better way to create a digital strategy than with that idea, as it all starts with your company and how it views itself. This is also where mission statements fail. Many mission statements don't inspire, they don't excite, and they certainly aren't short. Each company is in business for a reason, but how easily can that be expressed? I call this the internal narrative, the mantra, that summarizes the benefit to the customer or to the world. This used to be called an elevator pitch. Now I prefer the Twitter pitch. Can you summarize the value of your company and the benefit to the customer in less than 140 characters? The problem is that too many companies focus on big ideals and leading their industry that they leave behind the simple, measurable objectives that speak to the needs of the customer. For example, Tesla's mantra and Square. Tesla's mantra, accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. It is short, succinct, motivating, and clearly provides value. In addition, this is something from one that could derive meaningful measurables to show progress towards that goal. Similarly, Square, empowering people to make a living from their ideas. I love this statement as the emphasis and power is with the people, the customer, not the company. The focus is on the people, and Square is simply a player in the bigger scheme. Internal narrative. For example, Aristotle is credited with the phrase, know thyself, or better, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. I can't think of a better way to create a digital strategy than with that idea, as it all starts with your company and how it views itself. This is also where mission statements fail. Many mission statements don't inspire, they don't excite, and they certainly aren't short. Each company is in business for a reason, but how easily can that be expressed? I call this the internal narrative, the mantra, that summarizes the benefit to the customer or to the world. This used to be called an elevator pitch. Now I prefer the Twitter pitch. Can you summarize the value of your company and the benefit to the customer in less than 140 characters? The problem is that too many companies focus on big ideals and leading their industry that they leave behind the simple, measurable objectives that speak to the needs of the customer. For example, Tesla's mantra and Square. Tesla's mantra, accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. It is short, succinct, motivating, and clearly provides value. In addition, this is something from one that could derive meaningful measurables to show progress towards that goal. Similarly, Square, empowering people to make a living from their ideas. I love this statement as the emphasis and power is with the people, the customer, not the company. The focus is on the people, and Square is simply a player in the bigger scheme. Key takeaways. Competing companies must rely on their voice or personality as a differentiator in the marketplace. The narrative or mantra explains the purpose of the company and its value to the consumer. Having a short, memorable, and measurable narrative or mantra enables marketers to effectively communicate the personality and the value of the brand. Positioning customer needs. One of my first university lessons on human behavior was learning about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This chart is a simple method of showing that unless basic needs are met, humans aren't ready or willing to meet higher level needs. Basically, unless we have a home, food, water, and air, we aren't interested in learning a new language or buying a new computer. Essential needs have to be met first. Objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain how Maslow's hierarchy of needs relates to marketing, Identify and give examples of the 6 basic customer needs. Analyze customer needs and goals when interacting with your business. Describe the value of a customer persona and its key features. Create a customer persona. Customer needs. I learned this in sales. In one example, I thought I had the deal won, but the client chose another vendor that was more established in the market. He explained to me that no one ever lost their job by staying with the established vendor. He made his decision to avoid risk. He didn't want to risk his reputation on a new vendor, possibly losing his job if things went wrong. And if that happened, it would affect his family, his security, and maybe his home. He made his decision in the safety and security level. But I was selling at the top level, self-actualization with a logical return on investment approach. That experience changed how I approached sales, as I wanted to know the level where people make decisions. Here's the important thing to remember when it comes to marketing. No product is ever sold at the level that it exists. Cars are sold to meet one's self-esteem or identity. Laundry soap is positioned as making your family happy. Food is sold as being a good parent and nurturing your children. Laptops are sold as tools to build an empire. Every product is marketed to meet a more basic need than the one it actually does. Let's distill down the basic customer needs in a different set of categories. First, certainty and comfort. This group likes things the way they are. They like the good old days. Nostalgia is effective as a selling point, as this group doesn't always like the new or the most advanced. Second, variety. On the other end of the spectrum are the early adopters, the influencers, and those that embrace the new. They are willing to take risks, try new things, or even rebel against convention. Third, significance. Many crave to make their mark in this world, either through their social media profiles, selfies, or other recognition. This drives the celebrity culture, but it also speaks to a deeper need of finding one's own place through independence or notoriety. Fourth, connection and love. This is one of the most powerful and most used appeals. Social validation, belonging to a group, such as close family or friends, or being attractive and desired by someone. The drive to belong is powerful. Fifth, growth and advancement. This plays into our self-esteem. This is the desire to become better, a better person, to learn more, develop skills, or to achieve. Our esteem can be tied to many of these accomplishments. Sixth, charity. Doing good and serving others. Many times, brands align themselves with charities or good deeds in order to be associated with causes or issues. People donate money, time, and effort to help others, and it creates good feelings in doing so. Seventh. Okay, I said 6 needs, but the 7th is the anti-need. It's fear. What if you suddenly had no family, no friends, no job, no one else to be with, and nothing to rely on? You see, that's the anti-need. Advertisers use fear to motivate you to act by showing you the absence of one of the earlier needs. This is powerful because as humans, we are motivated by fear and we will take action to eliminate threats or loss. Describe the customer experience. Questions. The better questions you ask, the better information you'll receive. Asking great questions of your customers will create a better understanding of their needs, how they make decisions, and how you can align your communications to different customer needs segments. One of the best resources for learning about the customer and their needs is your sales department. They can help you understand the different concerns and needs, and you can create a questionnaire that asks people their preferences in order to learn more about them. One travel company asked travelers about their behavior when they travel. For example, they asked if people set an alarm to wake up while they are on holiday. Now, while most people don't do this, there is a significant group that does. Now, knowing this information, it allowed an insight from the customer behavior into their needs. They set an alarm on holiday because they have things to do. They see a vacation as something to be accomplished with activities, tours, and more. Now, when salespeople ask this question, they know that they can upsell vacation packages with tours, activities, museums, and additional activities, as this group who sets their alarm would be more likely to purchase. The right question leads to right insights. The travel company then went on to create 5 distinct traveler segments based on needs, attitudes, and behaviors. The first group wants to recharge, time to relax, but also do some scheduled activities, all while still being connected. The second group just wants to be left alone, with no surprises and little interaction. These people just want to relax in their chair by the pool or beach and read their book. The next group focuses on tradition, and they go to the same location or destination every year. Conversely, the next group, they want to go somewhere different and see new things and do new things every year. The last group were self-planners that'll figure it out by themselves. As seasoned travelers, they're not afraid of uncertainty. As you can see, each group has a need to take a holiday as the primary need, but individually, they have different needs: relaxing, seeing new things, being connected, being with family. Those needs intersect at multiple points, and they even break down into more individual needs. The key is to identify the groups of customers you have and their shared needs. The big question is, how will you adapt your communications to speak to the different groups? The next step is to evaluate your market. What does success look like for your customers? And how is success different based on different segments? What are the key differentiators you can identify? How are the needs different among the segments? Now, evaluate your website or app. What do those groups need to do on your website? How will they access the information they need? What tools are available for them to interact with you? And do you have the content that addresses their specific needs? Define customer segments and personas. The creation of a persona is very different from looking solely at the demographics of a customer group. While the demographics provide a helpful guide, they do not provide insight. So while we can start with some basic demographic information, what we want to know is what factors influence customer decisions. What needs do they have? Which affect them the most, and how their attitudes and values influence their decisions. Creating a persona for each identified customer needs segment enables organizations to have a reference for each department to use. Sometimes, by having a name for the persona, it creates a clear communication for the personality the organization is attempting to reach. Having multiple needs-based personas enables the organization to measure their communications and the effectiveness of the communications against the needs of each persona. Persona templates vary, but have very common features. Starting with a name, sometimes a picture of a representative of that group, with the background being where they will use the product, such as the workplace, home, or school, to establish context. Name, job title, and job responsibilities are all vital, as they set the tone for the personality and the expectations and goals of the persona. Create a fictional background story that tells a bit about your persona, but be sure it matches most of your segment. One of the most important aspects of the persona is the identification of the persona's needs and goals. Answer: what do they want to accomplish? What problems do they have? What does life look like if their problems are solved? And what does that enable them to do? Also, what are their frustrations? What are they trying to use to solve their problem, but it's ineffective? What are their obstacles? This example uses comparable brands to help recognize the persona. What other brands does this persona have an affinity for? This will help identify their attitudes and values. The template also has a needs measurement graph to match specific human needs to the persona. Personas can also be very stripped down in versions, but they still answer the same essential questions. Add life to your personas by including actual customer quotes, voice concerns, conversations, or emails that support or enhance the persona. Use research, customer data, and other questionnaires to guide your development. The more realistic the persona is, the more effective it will be. But also be sure to revisit your personas regularly to update or modify as you gain feedback and measure your results. A well-designed persona allows organizations to have a single point of reference for an entire group of people with similar needs. The persona can guide the development of communications based on the different needs or segments that the company will focus on. This is also helpful for B2B organizations with long sales cycles and multiple cohorts in the decision-making process. Personas can be developed for each decision maker or influencer, such as IT, finance, HR, development, and end users. In this way, communications can be focused on the needs of each cohort, identifying their informational characteristics and communicating with greater precision. Key takeaways. Personas are used to create a fictional narrative of a distinct customer group, usually based on need or other distinguishing factors. Personas are effective when they analyze the attitudes, values, and behaviors of a segment and how that affects their decision-making process. When used with research data, personas can be a key factor in guiding the development of effective, coordinated communications. Personas create an organizational understanding of different customer segments and their key differences. Market research. The concept of keyword research is that we find the intent that searchers have, and then the multiple ways that they express that intent. In other words, the words they use when they search. Objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to define keyword research and categorize your keywords by intent, idea, or concept. List sources of gaining customer information. Identify keyword trends in the search data. Explain the relationship of strategy, goals, and tactics. Identify unique characteristics of different tactics. Categorize your keywords by intent, idea, or concept. We start by simply gathering as many keywords as possible, then grouping them by intent or concept. After that, can you match the keyword to the buying cycle? How do people search when they first need your product? How do they modify the search as they look for more information and comparison? Then, how do they search when they are ready to buy or contact a vendor? Google offers its version of keyword research. You can find it in the Keyword Tool portion of Google Ads. The first method of researching keywords is simply to start with a list of words that you think are relevant to your business. Start by typing in a word or phrase that best describes what your business does and how people would find you. Suggested keywords will appear along with an estimate of the number of monthly searches for that word or phrase. Just start making a list of the relevant or similar keywords at this point. You add keywords from the idea list to the ad group by clicking the plus sign. Keep an eye on the popularity numbers. They aren't always accurate and the range is pretty wide. It's just to give you an idea of the popularity relative to different terms. While you'll notice that many keywords are similar, they're not close. Now, in this example of the key phrase logo design, we see keywords for people that are looking to build their own logo and keywords for people looking to buy a logo. We're also seeing keywords for brand identity or corporate identity design. This is where the next group comes in. These are similar words, but different intent and a different product. Rather than trying to do everything, let's make sure that we know what it is so that we can organize it later. Right now, we're looking just to build the list of keywords. Now, there are many online tools available to help you research and find keywords. Most are available through a subscription, which may or may not be in your budget. Some are offered as part of a larger search engine optimization website management tool. I like a program called Word Tracker at wordtracker.com. It creates similar lists, but it gives me the ability to create separate lists, export the projects to a spreadsheet, and closely examine the different trends of the words. I'll show you a simple spreadsheet layout that I use to visualize the different keywords and how I can organize them. First, I group by business area. In this case, I took design or design a logo, and I broke that out into logo design, brand identity, brochure design, package design, presentation design, and business cards. Now, you change this to suit the services you offer. Then start looking through the keywords. You can do this on Google Ads or on Word Tracker, but keep each subject consistent. As you can see, all of the logo design phrases are about logo design. All of the brand identity keywords are all about brand identity services. Trust me, you are going to want to keep this straight and organized. It'll pay off when you move into the campaign planning stage. As you set this up, bold or highlight the words that people use and associate with business services. In my example, in the logo design column, I've bolded the words business, professional, modern, custom, small business, and sports. While working and researching through your keywords, group them and highlight the associated words that signify intent. This will show you how people will describe your service, and these words will help you greatly as you implement this research into your marketing campaigns. Research the customer. An integral function of digital strategy is understanding your customer. With the data available today, an understanding of the customer, their needs, and preferences is readily available, along with a variety of other data sources. The goal of marketing is to present the right message to the right customer at the right time. To reach this goal, we first need to know and define the right customer. Then, we need to connect the right need to the customer, and then find the right timing to present our marketing message. How the message connects to the customer is based on the effectiveness of our strategy. One of the first methods of learning about the customer is to start with the data you have. Either through customer records or a customer relationship management system, you can access information about your customers to develop a profile about them. From the data, describe the typical customer. Look at what they purchase. Do you have demographic information or firmographics for B2B customers to help determine one or more typical profiles? Next, go directly to the customer. Either through questionnaires or interviews, gain information about them, their values, and their attitudes. Questionnaires and surveys provide quantitative data. The responses can be measured. Interviews and focus groups provide qualitative data, actual customer statements with emotion, depth, and insight. Utilizing these two methods together will help you gain a better understanding of customers or prospects and will help you present a clear message. Ask customers what they like, what they don't like, or what they would change. Ask them to describe their experience with your company or how you solved their problem. Listen closely to the words they use in their descriptions. These are keys to positioning your company to meet needs and understand how you provide a clear benefit in the customer's own words. Next, go to your sales team. Perhaps no other group has such a direct line to the customer and to the decision makers. Ask them about the needs and concerns of the customer and the problems that you solve. Ask them about roadblocks in the process. You may come up with new marketing programs as you learn how your sales team interacts with customers. Finally, take all of your data and reevaluate your customer persona or profile. How can you build it, or do you have to reassess your previous assumptions? How much does the data confirm or conflict with your previous work? Now is the time to clarify these profiles and present them with actual customer quotes and concerns. Define trends. One of the most helpful tools in creating strategy has been Google Trends. While customers may tell you what they want and when they want it, Google Trends, I like to say, is the honest data. It shows you when people search for information and the actual trend and not people's memory of when they search. Here's an example. I'll go back to some of my keywords and keyword groups. I'll use the keyword logo design. When I put that into Google Trends, I also select my region, United States, and adjust the time span to the past 5 years. I do this because I want to see if there is a long-term, repeatable trend. What I find is very interesting. When I mark the beginning of each year, at January, I see a subsequent spike in searches. This shows me that the peak search volume for logo design starts in January and into the first few months of the year. Here's where you take the trend data and apply your own interpretation or ideas. I would hypothesize that many people use the start of a new year to start a new business. Now, I can also use this data and go back to my customers and interview them, or go to my sales records and see how many customers I acquired in the first few months of the past years. The next stage is to compare other terms from your research and find the different trends for different words, concepts, or intent groups. You may be surprised to find these trends, and you may also find that different phrases have widely different trends. Make notes of when the trends appear, how long they last, and how they compare to other concepts. Depending upon your business, you may see only very subtle trends, or you may find very wide and significant trends. Google Trends shows you when people are most interested in specific content and specific times. It's not that the interest disappears for the rest of the year, but it is the trended view of when more people are actively searching for specific words. Mapping the customer journey. Identification. Customer journey mapping is an organized, visual approach to see how your organization is viewed by your prospects or customers. It enables you to get the mile-high view of all of your customer-facing interactions, from marketing to operations, to billing, to customer service, and beyond. This is a valuable activity, as every time I've worked with a company to build a journey map, they've found missing gaps in processes, new revenue opportunities, or increased efficiency in their process. The first step is to identify a specific problem or process that you want to examine or solve. Now, journey mapping is effective for both examining particular processes or for the entire customer life cycle. Start by identifying your goals for the mapping exercise. Develop appropriate customer stages, such as awareness, intent, engagement, commitment, retention, or subscriber, lead, market qualified lead, customer. Break down the primary stages of the customer life cycle into broad categories. This helps you to define the types of communications appropriate for the customer at that stage. Third, identify a particular persona or profile. While this could be done with a general idea, the map works best when it is focused on a particular type of customer. This creates more empathy for the customer as you think about their experiences and their interactions with your company based on their needs and their profile. It helps you see things from their viewpoint. Fourth, draw a linear line through the stages and map touch points along the line. A touch point is any interaction a customer has with your company, such as viewing ads, visiting landing pages, emails, calls, website interactions, customer service calls, paying a bill or subscription, account management, and ongoing communications. Next, identify the customer's attitudes, behaviors, and experiences throughout the touch points. Here's an example. If the customer must send the company important information and does so but receives no confirmation, what would be their reaction? How impactful is that experience, and how does that translate into their judgment of your company? What if they encounter a problem on your website while trying to pay? Or they cannot find critical information? What if your contact form or the checkout doesn't work? How does that affect their attitude and their resulting behavior? State these reactions in the voice of the visitor or customer. Evaluate the attitudes to distinguish positive and negative attitudes based on the experience. What are touch points that create good experiences and touch points that result in bad experiences? Mapping the customer journey. Evaluation. The next stage is to evaluate the impact of that experience on the attitude of the customer. The goal here is to quantify the impact. Does it create frustration, helplessness, or anger? To plot the impact of the issue on your customer journey will help you understand the level of impact. Conversely, if a situation creates happiness, accomplishment, or empowerment, plot the impact on their emotional state on the good side. This next phase is critical. Once you've identified key impact moments, tie those moments to revenue, such as customer lifetime value or lost sales. If there is a frustration for a website transaction or interaction, what is the financial impact for a lost sale or a lost customer? If a problem has been discovered in the process, what is the impact of that problem today, this month, this quarter, or this year if it's not corrected? Of course, you'll want to focus on improving areas that have the biggest impact on your revenue. Well, the next part is to find solutions. And here's where you innovate. Here are some questions to get your innovation ideas started. What, in a perfect world, does this solution look like? How would this solution benefit both the customer and our company? Here's how someone else did it. Or even, I hate it when, or I love it when. These starters should help you develop ideas, especially also in comparing other companies and how they handle similar situations. Finally, when you've created a course of action, clearly define the new solution, what it will solve, what it enables or creates, and the resulting impact on the customer. Then, the final step, tie it to metrics and the expected impact on revenue. Now, use your map as a reference, but don't leave it behind. Continue to update and refine the information and use it to map your progress over time. Keep coming back to it to ideate and create new experiences. In summary, here are the 10 steps to customer journey mapping process. Number 1, identify the problem, goal, or experience. Number 2, establish customer stages. Number 3, identify the persona or profile. Number 4, list customer touchpoints, acquisition, growth and engagement, or retention. Number 5, identify attitudes, behaviors, and experiences. Number 6, evaluate the impact of attitudes. Number 7, find problem areas and determine any financial impact. Number 8, imagine the desired result and connect to metrics. Number 9, build the new journey. And number 10, measure the impact. Market research. Plan your strategic approach. As you develop an understanding of the market, your customer, the words people use when searching for your business, it's now time to connect the research to the strategy. The strategy is what drives your business, how it makes an impact on the marketplace, and distinguishes your brand. Next, this is where you define your goals based on that strategy. In this case, I want to acquire new customers and retain existing ones. Now, I can begin to evaluate the tactics that will enable me to reach those goals. Lead acquisition tactics include the use of search engine optimization, SEO, paid search, paid media, content marketing or inbound marketing, social media, online PR, and video. This is certainly not all of the options available, but I can evaluate what I have available in resources, what skills are available to me, and what makes the most sense to communicate my message to my target audience according to my goal. For example, my retention goal would be best served by focusing on email because it is developed for existing customers. I can also use webinars, content marketing, social media, and mobile tactics. They would work well to increase my communication, education, and nurture of my customer base. Tactics. When examining tactics, it is important to look at the ramp-up time and resources it takes to implement each tactic. For search engine optimization, it can take a month or more for new content to be indexed and rank well in the search engines. So, you need to plan to add content to your site well ahead of a trend. The content should be planned, researched, written, approved, designed, and published well before the trend happens. You should also consider how to generate links to new content in order to increase the relevance and authority of that page. Alongside search engine optimization should be a complementary paid search campaign with accompanying landing pages. Knowing the trends will enable you to budget more efficiently and plan for high and low demand. Understanding keywords helps you write better ads, align relevant ad groups, and bid strategically on keywords. In addition, creating remarketing campaigns alongside your SEO and paid search content helps you stay in front of searchers who have been to your website. Consider also creating pre-campaign launches to gather data and test keywords. I also recommend having a testing plan ready to go to test headlines and ad creative to increase your quality score and click-through rate. While Facebook is an excellent channel for remarketing, it can also be used to create leads. Paid media campaigns on Facebook are especially effective for reaching new audiences, regionally, demographically, or through life events that people publish on Facebook, engagements, weddings, schools, pets, and other information. Organic social is very similar. It's limited in reach, but it should not be left out. One example, LinkedIn, is a vital lifeline for B2B businesses, and many other social channels allow greater organic reach than the major channels. Either way, social engagement is an important method of generating new business and engaging with existing customers. It's just as important to know the keyword trends when engaging on social, as it gives you the edge in planning and posting the right content at the right time. Regardless of how you utilize social media, you still need to plan and develop landing pages specific to your campaigns and offers. These need to be developed in advance as you plan your communications so that you are ready to capture business when the trend hits. Video is a high investment, high reward tactic as it can be reused and repurposed across all channels. People engage with video and remember it more than text or pictures. Using it as a retargeting channel is an effective method of reaching those in the consideration stage. You can target those already researching and have shown interest in the content. Also, content marketing takes a wide variety of tactics and channels, but it unifies them to reach the right people at the right time. With the right approach, you can align your content assets into the appropriate channels and reach people with the information they need in the channel or media they want and move them to conversion. Knowing what people need, when they need it, and how to deliver that information will become the execution of your strategy in line with your goals. To be effective, consider the timing factor of what it takes to be prepared to take new content to the marketplace. Marketing calendar. By mapping content needs, demands, locations, trends, all on a calendar, we can visually see how consumers demand content. This activity enables us to plan more effective campaigns to reach customers with the information they want in the way they want it. Objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to map keyword and content trends into a planning calendar, create processes for the development and creation of content assets. Demonstrate how channel content should support a specific campaign or goal. Identify 3 ways to increase content effectiveness through contextualization. List methods of engaging existing customers. Map content demand. This is the most crucial part of your strategy, the planning. Without this step, many people have big ideas and plans, but if those ideas are not carefully planned and developed accordingly, then they probably won't happen. When we put things on a calendar and create a plan, it increases the chances they can get done by 70% or more. Especially when you have a team and you assign responsibilities for each stage of the content process, things get done. The first step is to take your keywords and trends data. The goal is to create a visual planner that enables you and your team to see the process. At this stage, look at the peak trends and the demand that surrounds them. You may also have trends that peak 2 to 3 times throughout the year. This helps you to plot the trends across the months of the year and make relevant notes of your observations. Create a visual organizer. In this example, I developed this for a travel company. We evaluated the trends for different travel, vacation, and holiday keywords to track demand. Note the peak trends for each vacation type or destination on the calendar, along with any other peaks throughout the year. Then do this for each group of keywords where there is a verifiable trend. Here is another way to do this. Breaking out each month the trending keywords from your research, but also compare this to any internal or external market research that confirms the trend. Connect trends then to calendar events. Then evaluate your internal resources on these topics. Do you have internal expertise? Or do you need to retain external expertise or content? The final column is called Moments Resources. This is based on Google's concept of micro-moments. Micro-moments are short periods of time, typically less than 90 seconds, when people search for something because they're inspired. So I look at the keywords to see what early stage, mid stage, and late stage keywords people would be using around each topic. Then, I recommend pulling back to look at all of the trended content that you have identified and ask some questions. What is it that people want? Is there a unifying theme? In our travel example, we found that people want advice and recommendations. So rather than create hundreds of disjointed or disordered pieces of content, we found a unifying concept. All content created for this client would surround the creation of a vacation guide. On the left, we listed the key travel content in demand. On the right was the theme of how the content would be presented in our company voice. In this case, the company would publish the content as an authoritative guide with locally sourced knowledge and advice. In the center column are all of our media options available to present the information to people. Rather than thinking as a single channel, this visual organizer enabled team members to pick and choose combinations of content, presentation, and theme. However, all content would build as part of a central theme, the vacation guide. Each content piece would contribute to that larger content asset, which could then be reused and repurposed to market the company. Create a content calendar. The next step is to create a content calendar for the marketing team. This can be general or highly detailed, such as a weekly list of to-dos or a daily plan with timetables for what is posted and when. I find it extremely helpful to have a checklist for each piece of content that is posted, when that content is needed, when it is approved, what assets are needed, such as images or video, what is the designated hashtag that will be used, what is the specific conversion point, like link text or button text, and also, is the link to the conversion point verified? Then, how will this be measured? Sometimes additional tracking code needs to be added. When the content piece is approved and ready to go, it can be posted along with all of the necessary elements in place and in context with the rest of your communications. Assess your resources. The next stage in this process is to assess your resources. After creating the visual organizer, evaluate your internal resources for content development across multiple media: articles and information writing, designing and publishing, pictures, video recording, editing and production, or design assets. As content is being planned across all media options, this is the time to plan for the creation and investment in your content. Resources include time, as each channel has its own unique set of challenges and requirements. These need to be noted in a production schedule and planned accordingly. Planning the content type, and how it will be distributed requires that you examine your plan for each channel. In search engine optimization, how far out do you plan and then publish content to then be indexed by the search engines? Paid search. How do you accommodate trends and develop seasonal or trend-based content? Social media. How will you engage and push lead magnets? And how will you develop community contribution? When will you create and deploy trend-based content? Analytics. How will you measure? What will be your goal and benchmark for measurement? Is your goal to find a lower cost per lead acquisition, or just to fill the lead pipeline and get as many leads as possible? Create videos. At this stage, the type and amount of video for content areas you need. You can think of ways to use the assets once they are produced. For example, if you see where 5 to 7 videos of a particular event or location is needed, define the project for a videographer. Then think about the different ways that the content could be used across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and web pages. But also think about the ways you could use it in acquisition, gaining new customers, in retention, by communicating to existing customers, or in your nurturing stream, to nurture new sales with onboarding videos. Don't restrict yourself to creating a single video. Think about how that same content can be repurposed and re-edited to be used across a variety of channels and messages for your audience. Develop process. This is where you develop process. For content in your marketing, sales, support, and onboarding, who will be responsible for the research, writing, proofing of the content? Who will source additional content or images for articles? How far in advance should this work be performed, and who has the final approval? Then, who will format it and publish it? How will it be reformatted for different media? In addition, how will the content fit into the larger picture? Meaning, what will you be asking people to do? Where will they click? Is this content connected to landing pages or the next step in the process? How will you create a progression from your content to your intended goal? This requires planning on your part to create these processes. Once they are in place, organizing and scheduling content within this system becomes much easier and focused. Knowing the organizational strategy and developing a system to work within that strategy enables you to clearly define the purpose of your marketing and connect it to clear, measurable outcomes. Plan the right channel mix. After careful planning and development of strategy, the question is no longer which channel, but how can we coordinate channels to promote coordinated communications that meet our business objectives. The key is to see how each channel complements the larger goal or purpose. For example, if I am developing thought leadership content and pushing it online to meet my business objectives, in this case, my business objectives could be gain leads and retain existing customers. Then, because of this, I will approach my online channels differently. Publish the content. For starters, I can publish content to my company website, maybe on the blog. The blog article will be supported by images, video, and content. I can then create summary points along with the images and post them to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram, teasing the story to push people to the website. The social channels would be used to generate traffic to the blog page where all of the content is located. Video could also be posted to YouTube as a standalone video in the company channel, or it could also be repurposed as an ad targeted to known users who are searching for the product. This could also be used to support a paid search campaign by retargeting those campaign visits that did not convert. You see, the article is designed as a lead capture mechanism, and it can offer additional, more in-depth content, such as a research report, white paper, or other offer. An online PR campaign can also be developed to gain the attention of news media or industry publications. In addition, a cooperative email campaign, along with those publications, can generate new visits to that content and offer. In this example, each channel is working together to move visitors to the primary page or to a landing page to gain lead conversions. Now, content can not only be broken apart and customized for each channel, but the content itself can be repurposed, reused, and recycled for different channels and purposes. In one case, a company used webinars as their primary lead generation tool. In a series of webinars with industry experts, influencers, and contributors, they asked a series of questions to each guest. Some of the webinars were recorded as online meetings in order to create a video component. After the webinar, the company created transcripts of each webinar. They also used the audio to create podcasts. Then, they pooled the questions from each guest and reassembled them by topic. They created an article series based on each question, such as 5 industry experts' opinions on this content. The content was also reworked to develop a white paper. Quotes were pulled from the podcasts and webinars and used to create posts, video posts, audio posts, and other social content, which was then used to drive more leads. They used this curated content to drive new webinar registrations, new downloads, and even more content to build their library. Multi-device engagement. Now here's where we go back and review our customer personas. Take this time to choose a persona and consider their lifestyle, how they live. Think about their day and when they might be the busiest or the most relaxed. Many companies do this. For example, Netflix usually sends an email on Friday afternoons that shows their most popular or new movies. Well, it's no wonder. Most people are already checked out on a Friday afternoon, and they're looking forward to relaxing and catching a movie. They are most receptive to this message at this time. On Tuesday afternoons, LinkedIn sends an email letting you know that people have been looking at your profile. It's the time of the day that the least amount of emails are sent, and it's probably just before break time when you get that message. So you take a few minutes, go to LinkedIn, and see who's been viewing your profile. This is a principle called contextualization. It means that the sender has taken a number of contextual factors into consideration when planning a personalized approach in sending their message. Contextualization in sending marketing messages can fall under 3 categories. The device. Context. The final factor is the persona themselves. First, the device. What device are they most likely using at this time? What is the screen resolution? How much of the message will they see? How will it render differently on mobile, or tablet, or desktop? Will the operating system affect the delivery, the message, or the call to action? Second, context. Where is your user when you send the message? Home, office, or commuting? What time is it? And where will they be? And what will they be doing? Are they moving or sitting? At the office, at work, traveling, or at home relaxing? Interestingly, humidity and temperature can be factors, especially in public transportation and behavior. I've noticed that when people are mobile and outside factors of stress like temperature or irritability are affecting them, They brutalize their email inbox. They might look at the headline or the sender, and anything that isn't work-related gets deleted in seconds. They don't have the time or the inclination to see anything that isn't vitally important right now. Now, conversely, if they are relaxing at home at night, they're more likely to browse their email, spend time looking at some of the offers, as they're in a relaxed frame of mind. The final factor is the persona themselves. How old are they? What is their gender, their stage of life? What's their primary language? And how much do relationships play into their decisions? This is where we can be even more personalized by recognizing that not all of our customers are the same, and they're not all of the same age or location. So how can you recognize those differences in your marketing? Plan for success. One of the areas that tends to be overlooked in marketing plans is that of the existing customer. It is not unusual to see 90% or more of the marketing budget focused on acquiring new customers, but research shows us that a 10% increase in retention creates a 30% increase in company value. Not only that, further analysis shows us that many times 80% of your future profits come from just 20% of your existing customers. Marketing to your existing customer base is essential. It costs substantially less to retain a new customer than to acquire 5 new customers. This is where you have to rely on your customer data and the information in your customer relationship management (CRM) software. The first step is to have a communications plan to onboard existing customers. Start new customers with a program that regularly educates and provides thought leadership to new customers. Provide information to help them get the most out of their experience. Onboarding can increase retention by as much as 50%. Next, communicate with your customers regularly. You may choose to do this with a regular email newsletter, and sometimes that might suffice. However, if you have distinctly different customer personas or customer types, it will be valuable to segment your communications based on the needs of the customer. Segmenting email communications to existing customers increases open rates. You'll have lower opt-outs, better deliverability, increased revenue, and customer retention. Segment many ways, based on customer type, information preferences, recent activity or purchases, product type, or even the length of time that customer has been with your company. This leads to the next step. Run some reports in your CRM to find your most engaged customers. The acronym for this is RFS: Recency, Frequency, and Spend. Recency: when was the last visit or interaction? Frequency: how often do they interact or purchase? And spend: how much do they spend? Each of these will provide you with a list of customers that show their engagement with your company. You can also combine these factors to find your best customers, those that spend, visit, and engage frequently and are the most recent. You can increase your communications with this group or engage them even more with a loyalty program, rewards, recognition, or referral program, each of which will deepen their ties to your company and create more profitable customers. So, don't overlook the customers in your own database as you develop your communications plan. Integrate them into your communications as case studies, customer profiles, or contributors to help acquire new business and onboard new customers. They are a vital resource for your marketing efforts. Case study O2. As an example of contextualization, British telecom company O2 utilized contextualization to solve a major problem. 40% of their call center interactions required agents to read through contract terms and agreements, as well as explain product options. This resulted in low sales and high abandonment. They realized that talking through terms was the wrong context for the information. People needed a visual component to see and maybe read for themselves if they chose. O2 created a screen sharing environment in their call center. It enabled callers to see the screen and see the agreements, the products, They could choose upsells and walk through the process themselves. The change was a dramatic success, as it increased customer satisfaction, retention, compliance rates, and sales. And most importantly, it reduced drop-off rates by more than 30%. When contextualizing content to reach a specific audience, consider their device and how they are using it at that time. Choose 1, 2, or maybe 3 contextualization factors when creating a campaign. Create different variations of the content, such as messages focused on desktop users in the evening or towards mobile users who are commuting in the morning. Define who they are, where they are, and what device they're using. Then, when, why, and how will they engage with and access the content you send, post, or advertise? Key takeaways. Create a marketing calendar to track content trends and your marketing plan. Plan your content based on channel considerations. Utilize multiple content media to deliver content that will engage people through different formats. Don't create single-use content. Content can be reused, recycled, and repurposed. Utilize multiple channels to lead visitors through a progression to the next stage. Create marketing programs for your existing and active customers. Measurement and management. We now complete the circle of strategy to measurement, because a true strategy can be measured. In measurement and management, I'll show you how to avoid the data dump and bring organization to your metrics. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to list methods to connect measurement data to actions, calculate customer lifetime value, identify factors that influence customer lifetime value, connect relevant metrics to content, develop tactical measurements that connect to your goal. Measure what matters. Analytics is one of the more frustrating activities within an organization. Many times, reports are nothing more than a data dump of information. They don't answer questions, they're just stacks of charts and graphs and numbers. Most times, when there is a question about the direction, results, or status of a marketing campaign, the answer is usually delivered in 20 PowerPoint slides or emails with screen captures, lots of charts and graphs showing every conceivable metric and measurement available, but not an answer. This is the advantage to having a clear marketing strategy. The more your strategy is measurable and defined, the easier it will be to develop true measurement and guidance for your campaigns. You should have defined your strategy and the goals that you made to meet that strategy. In the example, B2B lead generation company, our primary goals here are lead generation, which leads to sales and also retention. Then we list tactics that would help us achieve those goals. Now, the next step is developing applicable key performance indicators, KPIs, that will guide the use, evaluation, and development of the tactics we listed. For example, let's evaluate paid search as a tactic. This is an easy tactic to create a data dump. Google Ads provides a lot of data that can be exported and presented, but to avoid the data dump, we establish the essential question that defines the tactic and provides actionable information. In paid search, we can measure the number, the cost of impressions, clicks, the click-through rate, cost per click, engagement rates, the number of landing page visits, conversions, cost per conversion, and more. But what is essential? First, the goal is to drive leads. So the first goal is the amount of leads, and that answers the primary question. Second, we can develop cost attributions, cost per lead, and return on ad spend. Those provide some financial metrics that can be used for comparison and benchmarking. Then, we develop comparative measurements, such as cost per lead in paid search as compared to other tactics. This gives us an across-the-board comparison of our tactics and assists you to spend your budget wisely. Then we can look at content and engagement. This tells us the measurement of our lead magnets and how effective they are by measuring how many visits do visitors make before they become leads. How many days from the first touch point to becoming a lead? Also, how many days does it take to convert that lead to a customer? This helps you evaluate your lead nurturing content. When you evaluate the tactic in the context of the goal, you'll create better, more meaningful KPIs that provide evaluative and comparative context. And you'll find your analytics have become much more actionable. Customer lifetime value. Perhaps no other metric comes close to informing a company about their health and viability than the customer lifetime value. This metric is the sum of your ability to gain new customers, retain them, and keep them spending money with your company. The basic equation for the customer lifetime value is 1. What is the average spend or sale of a customer? 2. The amount of repeat transactions. And 3. The average length of retention. Regardless of a B2C or B2B company, we are all trying to gain customers and retain customers. So this metric is meant to be basic, but also you can modify it for your business. If I have annual contracts for my clients, then I calculate the average value of that annual contract, multiplied by any purchases or upsells, multiplied by the number of years the average customer stays with my company. This means that if I want to increase my revenue or increase my lifetime customer value, there are 3 options. Increase the amount or the value of sales, increase the frequency of those sales, and increase my retention rate. Now, this can be affected by many factors. In one study, companies were surveyed about their customer lifetime value in order to see if the first touch of a customer, the first interaction with that company, affected the customer lifetime value. What they found was surprising. People that found a company through organic search and became a customer became better customers. They had a 50% higher than average customer lifetime value. Similarly, with paid search, people that found the company through their paid search campaign first ended up spending more frequently and remaining customers almost 40% longer than the average. The conclusions are not that surprising. Given that we have a myriad of different tactics and channels at our disposal, it's common sense that some will work better and more efficiently than others. This is the role of strategy in measurement. We identify the channels and tactics that produce a better, more valuable customer than others. Measure content drivers. Again, let's go back to your strategy, goals, and tactics. As you have gone through this course, you have also assessed how to use these tactics, how to adapt for trends, and the ideal relationship between the tactics. I showed you how they can align to promote campaigns and provide complementary support for each other across a variety of mediums. The next step is to look at your cross-channel plan and develop a funnel view of how channels and content will be used to reach your goals. In this view, I'm looking at the tactics that are effective in creating awareness, or we call this the C. This is where I want people to know that my company exists. If they are searching for an answer and they do not know my brand, then they're seeing my brand is accomplishing something. However, at the C level, it is exploratory in most cases. People are at the beginning of the buying cycle and looking to see what is available before refining their need. There are tactics that are very good at C. Social media, such as Facebook and Instagram, also display ads are great at C. They get the impression, but they rarely move people to action. Consideration, or think, is something that is effective when you have more screen space, time, or involvement alongside the customer intent. Customers want more information, so they spend more time researching and learning, and more in-depth content is what attracts them. Search engine optimization, YouTube videos, remarketing, blogs, and emails are effective tactics in reaching people at the think stage. The do stage is when people are ready for commitment. Again, search engine optimization, paid search, remarketing are effective means to get them to click. But then, coupled with content-based lead drivers, such as white papers, demos, trials, and other offers, they reach the visitor who is looking to do. In this context, I measure the effectiveness of my content drivers at each level, comparative to their function, but also their contribution to the entire campaign. I want to measure the effectiveness of the Facebook post that I make in relation to other C content, asking which channel is the most effective at moving people to the next stage, a landing page, a video, or other driver. This way, I'm measuring both the contribution to the progression and the comparative effectiveness of that tactic or channel. This way, I can attribute content drivers and their delivery mode across the spectrum of my strategy. Every content piece is to be measured in terms of its effectiveness within the channel and its purpose, and then in its ability to move people in progression towards my goal. Case study, Eloqua. Eloqua was established in the marketing automation space and was getting drowned out as the marketplace became busier with new competitors and increased attention. They needed to distinguish themselves from newer competitors, yet still educate a growing audience. Their objectives were to create a new category in the market and to build a new product. To distinguish themselves, their goal was to provide relevant and helpful content and form real relationships. They created core content assets and used the information developed from those assets to invest in three main platforms: SlideShare, Twitter, and their blog. As you read through this case study, pay attention to their content distribution plan and how they scheduled content for release and follow-up. Finally, they developed essential measurements to show that their digital strategy worked. The focus on clear measurements prove each stage of the content creation, distribution, and lead generation process, measuring from the visit to qualified leads. Key takeaways. Define an essential metric that connects each tactic to your goals in order to avoid the data dump. Apply measurements to see how different channels, offers, or tactics affect customer lifetime value. Not all tactics or channels deliver the same value. Measure each content piece based on its purpose and contribution towards business objectives.
So that's a wrap on this full course, guys. If you have any doubts or questions, you can ask them in the comment section below. Our team of experts will reply you as soon as possible. Thank you and keep learning with Simplilearn.
Staying ahead in your career requires continuous learning and upskilling. Whether you're a student aiming to learn today's top skills or a working professional looking to advance your career, we've got you covered. Explore our impressive catalog of certification programs in cutting-edge domains, including data science, cloud computing, cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, or digital marketing. Designed in collaboration with leading universities and top corporations, and delivered by industry experts, choose any of our programs and set yourself on the path to career success. Click the link in the description to know more.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.